What's going on, guys? SAEED YOUNAN here. So I wanted to shoot a quick video highlighting the pros and cons and why would an artist create an alias for themselves. So for those of you who don't know, an alias is when an artist decides to go under a different name, a different stage name than they currently have. For several reasons. Some of the one of the, couple of the reasons would be either to create a different genre of style of music, or to create a different idea, marketing idea, whether if it's physical or performance wise, that's not geared or related to what they currently do. The other reason would be, like I said, style of music, completely different style of music, or they want to dive into something completely different and not affect what they already have with their current audience. Um, so those are really two of the main reasons why some artists will create an alias as a side project and whatnot. For example, I myself created a side project, a side alias called the Deep Art Project, because I really wanted to create music that's geared toward, for meditation, yoga, and just, positive living, and just for mindful living, I guess you can call it. But or just music to relax to, I guess, is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time and doing it for myself as well, not just for others. But so I created this side project called the Deep Art Project. I didn't want it to affect anything I do um, in the dance business, in regards to dance music, techno, tech house, house, all that stuff, because it was nowhere near that music. This is more something you listen to either at home, meditating, going for long walks on the beach, in the forest, or whatever. It's geared more toward to calming down anxiety, relaxing you, and kind of putting you in a present state of mind, and helping you cope, with just the mental craziness and all the distortion that's happening from day-to-day world. So I created the Deep Art Project for that particular reason. Now, other artists will do it, for example, if they're doing, like, say, house music, but they wanted to create like heavy techno stuff. They don't want to alienate their fans in from the house side, saying, oh, he's doing this kind of style of music now, and people kind of lose touch of what you're doing right away, and they just kind of start looking somewhere else. So what a lot of artists would do is create an alias for that genre of music, not touching what they currently are doing. Now, in my opinion, and from seeing this being done for years and years and years, like, I mean, I go back, I became a professional DJ producer, quit my full-time day job back in 1998, and I've seen my share of Alias and different artists trying to go by under different names. I did it myself many times, even back in the day as well. I had a couple of different alias under different records and whatnot, but nothing I stayed with. I just kind of named that record for that, and that's it. But under, right now, produce, it's always my full name, SAEED YOUNAN, but I always had like a different name under the artist. It was fun back then, especially when you're making records, you're making a lot of records and stuff like that. I think it's really great. Now, in my personal professional opinion, I don't see. Well, I'm going to dive into the pros and cons of, in today's age, why you should or shouldn't create an alias for your artist name. Now, if you're going to do this in the day of age of digital age, with music, social media, it is, in my opinion, is a lot harder to maintain. Now, what I mean by that is, with the social media reach you have to create, with the whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff, you got to remember you're going to have to create an account for that alias for all that stuff, because people are always going to want to look and see what that artist is doing. And if you don't have those in line, it's just gonna people are just gonna lose touch really quickly, not knowing what's your next project, what you're doing. You can't create a fan base without having those social medias in line. So what makes it makes your job twice as tough. Not only do you have to take care of your side of being your artist, whatever your name is that you started with, not only do you have to maintain that, unless you have a management and all that stuff, and that's great, PR publicist, you don't have to just not just you maintaining this integrity of this artist, but now you're going to have a second alias, a second artist that you're going to have to take care of. Basically, your alias has to match your regular artist name in order for it to really work. Because if you're going to alienate this without social media, no Twitter, no Facebook or Instagram, you're not going to gain fan base. It's going to be really hard to contain fan base unless you want to be one of those alias that you really want to be cognito and people just be like, who, what is this person? Who is this person? And it's really cool, but it's really hard to gain momentum when it's hidden like that, because people just do not have the patience to dig for things like this anymore. They don't, back in the day we used to like trying to find out who this is, who that is, and all that stuff. And we had the time to do it, but right now it's just like people are they get lost with the shuffle with everything that's going on, different artists every day, different music every day. There's so much being thrown at them. So it's easier to kind of throw a curveball at somebody and then, they lose direction. They go start following something else. So in my opinion, there's two sides to this coin. The pro side is, if you're going to create this, do it in a way where you have a team also working with you to work on the Alias project, meaning that they can create your social media reach, they can create the idea, the concept, the marketing, whether it's, whether you're going to wear a mask or you're going to do something else, profile of it visually, something appealing, something different, even with performances. Music has to be obviously different. If you're trying to create, like if you're a house DJ and you want to make hip hop, obviously creating an alias is key. It's number one. But if you're like, in my opinion, if you're a house DJ and you just want to do a little bit of techno, there's no point of creating an alias for that, because it's the same family. It gels. It's all together. It's all from the same machine. It's the same. It's the same drive. So you don't have to go out and create an alias just because you're now doing Afro house and you have deep house on this end. You don't need an alias for that. What you need an alias for is if you're creating something completely different that's not going to touch what you already have. For example, like I said, with me, I'm a dance artist. I produce dance music. Now I'm making yoga and meditation music. It's two different worlds. So I had to create the Deep Art project so I can have people from that world focus on that, and maybe they'll gradually find out who I am and then end up coming to this world and seeing what I do in dance music. But for me, it's always been about focusing on your main goal in this business. What is your main goal? What is your objective? What do you want to get out of this? What do you want to show people? And work on that first, build that, get it really mastered, and do your best before you start thinking about branching out to different aliases and doing different projects under different names. It becomes a complete debacle when you got way too many aliases to deal with, especially if the social media isn't working with it and you don't have anything updated. I know a couple of people who are doing this super successfully. They've created an alias for themselves and that they pushed on, and it's two different style of music that doesn't touch what they're doing. Even their performances is different, what the way they look and the way they present themselves in a live DJ set. It's two completely different worlds, from this side being maybe a house DJ to this side maybe doing something more, I don't know, grungy or gothic or metal or whatnot. So there are people doing that, and they're just completely different world, but they've got it all together. They got it all set up. They've, if I want to know who they are as in the house electronic music producer, they've got it all there. The social media, their tour dates, their website is up to date. And if I want to know who they are as a metal artist, they've got that as well. They've got the band name, who they are, their bio, their social media, everything, and they manage it as two separate entities, completely separate entities, as if you're not looking at the same person. And that's the way to go about it. And believe me, it's a lot of work to do that. Sometimes it's more work than it's actually worth it. So if you feel like you want to try this out and do it, it's going to take a lot of work, and especially when you want to build that momentum over the alias. If it's new, a lot of people give up halfway through because you just don't feel like, oh my god, I can't juggle both artists or both names and try to kind of maintain it. I would suggest just stick to what you really love, your passion about the music, what you want to do, and maybe incorporate some of that into this music. For example, slowly bring it in, but create your own mold with it. Instead of creating two separate worlds, create one world, but slowly merge them together to create your own uniqueness. And that's what it is about dance music now. It's about being unique, it's about standing out. And when you kind of merge two worlds, something that you love musically, and create one thing that is yours, that is your own uniqueness. Just for an example, house music and say heavy metal or punk rock or whatever. If somebody can, somebody wants to bring these together and they're really passionate, they're really creative about it, they can, and they can call it their own. This is their own thing, this is their own style. And it's you're managing one thing, one entity, one business, one artist, one performance, one social media, but it's all bundled up together under your own little unique sound, instead of two separate worlds and trying to manage that, tour this guy, then tour that guy. Oh, this guy's going to conflict with this guy. It just becomes a complete juggling game. And I don't think a lot of us in this time, at this age, we want to do it, especially with all the social media presence, the followers, the likes, the updating your posts and everything. It's a lot to do when you're one artist trying to pretend that you're two artists. It's a lot of work, in my opinion. So hopefully this brought a little bit of insight for you guys about why you should and shouldn't create an alias for yourself, and maybe taking your ideas of music, if it's two completely different world, and figure out how to merge them together and create your own little uniqueness, your own unique sound. And I think that is the key, and that is the key for this business for success. So I hope this little this little speech or whatever you want to call it helped you guys out. It definitely helped me out when I started my side project. So I'm actually in the process right now merging the two worlds together. I'm bringing music that's a bit more chill, slowed down, meditative into dance music, and creating a more of a kind of, I don't know how, euphoric kind of a spiritual experience in a way with the music as well. So I just wanted to create something unique, something different, and I'm working on that right now. So we'll see where that goes. So I hope this helped you guys out. If you have any questions, any comments, feel free to, if you have any questions, put here in the comment section. I'll put a couple of links up here for you guys to go check out, maybe the Deep Art project, or also check out some other stuff. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll try to make more of these videos if you're really interested in them. All right, peace out.